my precious ears. Go have your baby. Go find your baby mama.
It's kind of rude.
Yeah, he's not in it for the long haul. Honestly, I think they're both not in it for the long haul.
Darcey's yelling, cuts through the room, find your baby mama, and leave. And you can feel the weight of every word. For months, she's held back, trying to make sense of Georgie's mixed signals. But now it's all spilling out. Her voice shakes, her eyes burn with frustration. And you can see she's done holding space for his uncertainty. Georgie stands there, shifting, clearly caught between his own hesitation and Darcey's fury. And it's painfully obvious he doesn't know what he wants. You can almost hear the thought running through his head. How did it get this far? While Darcey and Georgie face this emotional cliff, Stacy is dealing with her own storm. Florian's sudden career moves and long absences have left her questioning everything. She tries to stay calm on camera, but the cracks in their relationship are wide open. You start to notice the pattern. The twin sisters' relationships mirror each other. A mix of love, convenience, and unspoken fears spiraling out of control. There's more than anger in the room. There's hurt, insecurity, and a ticking clock of lost time. Darcey wants clarity on children. Georgie's hesitation casts shadows over trust, and intimacy has long since faded. Every word, every pause, every glance feels loaded with the potential to explode. The question hangs. Can these marriages survive the truths they've avoided for so long? You can feel it building. The tension's so thick you could slice it with a knife. Both couples are teetering on the edge, and every word spoken seems to push them closer to a breaking point. But what happened next shocked everyone watching this unfold. It all started last season with Darcey and Georgie dancing around the big issues, pretending everything was fine while quietly building a mountain of tension. Every time the cameras rolled, they smiled and nodded. But behind closed doors, nothing was resolved. Kids, intimacy, future plans, none of it was ever really discussed. Darcey kept hoping Georgie would step up. And Georgie, well, he kept sidestepping, caught between saying what he felt and avoiding the fallout. You could see the strain on her face, that mix of hope and frustration that slowly morphed into impatience. Months of avoidance left her exhausted. And honestly, it's easy to understand why she finally snapped. Meanwhile, Stacy and Florian were living their own drama, miles apart. Florian's career moves and sudden opportunities pulled him across the country, leaving Stacy juggling questions about his priorities and their future. She tried to be supportive, but every phone call, every delayed visit, chipped away at the trust they had left. The distance didn't just test their love, it amplified every little insecurity. It's like watching two puzzle pieces that almost fit, but keep sliding apart. And you could tell, for both sisters, time wasn't just passing, it was slipping away, leaving doubt and frustration in its wake. Looking back, you notice the patterns. Darcey and Georgie avoided the talks that mattered most. Stacy and Florian were stuck in practical complications while ignoring emotional needs. It's easy to ask, why didn't they just say what they needed? But that's the thing, they were scared. Darcey worried about pushing Georgie away. Stacy worried about losing Florian to ambition. And Georgie? He avoided the questions because admitting truth might mean actually making a choice. Florian hid behind logistics, job offers, citizenship, timing. And yet, despite all of it, you can't help but laugh at some moments. Georgie's awkward attempts to charm the camera, Darcey's rolling eyes when he stumbled over an explanation, it's frustrating. But there's a human side there. You see two people trying to navigate impossible circumstances while keeping their pride intact. We've all done things like that, right? Try to smooth over a mess and hope no one notices? But it's not just past mistakes. The stakes now are higher. Every second they wasted avoiding honesty has added up. Every unspoken desire, every delayed conversation, every doubt left unresolved is stacking the tension to a breaking point. Questions keep piling up. Is Georgie in this for love or convenience? Will Darcey's patience finally run out? Can Stacy trust Florian when timing feels suspicious? And the answer to all these questions is still hanging in the air, unresolved and raw. And just when you think it's safe to assume things might calm down, the cameras capture moments that are nothing short of explosive. Darcey's frustration simmers, Georgie's indecision looms, and Stacy's anxiety mirrors her twins. You won't believe what Darcey does when the cameras start rolling. Darcey stares at Georgie, her eyes narrowing, voice tight with frustration. You know I can't have more kids. So what are we really doing here? The words hang in the air, heavy, unavoidable. Georgie shifts uncomfortably, shuffling his papers, mumbling about options he hasn't fully thought through. Surrogacy, adoption, timing, he throws them out like placeholders, hoping something will stick. But Darcey isn't buying it. She's been through this before, and she sees straight through the hesitation. She wants clarity, he offers ambiguity, and every second they spend in this stalemate feels like time slipping away. For months, intimacy has been absent. 6 months without physical connection isn't just about sex. It's about trust, emotional availability, and feeling wanted. Darcey confesses quietly to the camera, I need to feel safe, and I don't. Georgie insists he's just careful, that his love isn't in question, but actions speak louder than words. He flirts with opportunities, socializes in ways that leave Darcey suspicious, and the camera catches every sideways glance, every awkward pause. The tension is palpable, and you can feel Darcey's patience fraying with each passing day. Meanwhile, Stacy's watching Florian juggle job offers, citizenship status, and long-distance logistics. She tries to stay calm, but his sudden timing, moving to Connecticut just after paperwork clears, sets off alarm bells. Is he pursuing a dream or using the relationship as a safety net? She questions everything. The mirror of her twins' frustration amplifies her own. When Darcey lashes out at Georgie, Stacy sees herself reflected, and the emotions bounce back harder than expected. Georgie tries to explain, fumbling through surrogacy scenarios. We could, maybe use another woman's egg, or adopt. His voice trails off, unsure, tentative. Darcey interrupts, sharp, so you're saying you'd rather have someone else's baby than deal with me? The room freezes. It's not just a conversation about children. It's a statement about commitment, priorities, and honesty. Every attempt at clarity seems to dig the hole deeper. Florian's absence fuels Stacy's anxiety. Every time he mentions his woodworking job, she's reminded of the times he hasn't been present. He's not thinking about us, she says quietly to the camera. It's a pattern echoing in both households. Physical distance mirrors emotional distance. Twin dynamics make it worse. Darcey's anger feeds Stacy's insecurities, and vice versa. The stress doubles, the stakes intensify. Georgie's indecision isn't just frustrating, it's performative. He hedges, shifts blame, and seems to wait for Darcey to decide for him. Darcey sees it as avoidance, a lack of courage to confront reality. Her anger is rational, her disappointment deep, and every minute without resolution drives a wedge wider. She wants alignment, he offers convenience. When she presses, he softens, tries humor, awkwardly laughs, but it lands flat. Humor doesn't heal uncertainty, and she knows it. The conversation spirals into finances. Past fights resurface, money slips into every discussion. Georgie points at clothing and expenses. Darcey recalls comments about potential post-divorce obligations. Trust fractures along old cracks, reopened and raw. Each argument stacks on top of unresolved issues: children, intimacy, timing. The tension multiplies instead of dissipating. And just when it feels like it might calm down, everything explodes again. Even minor comments spark heated reactions. Georgie tries to reassure. Darcey interprets. Florian's job updates trigger Stacy's skepticism. The twin effect magnifies drama, turning small frustrations into epic conflicts. Every glance, every hesitation is amplified under the camera's lens. You can feel the weight of unspoken fears pressing on both couples. Darcey demands truth. Georgie hesitates. Stacy asks for alignment. Florian sidesteps. Conversations that should provide clarity only leave questions swirling. Surrogacy is debated. Timing is questioned. Loyalty is tested. Every pause is loaded with meaning. Every answer incomplete. The narrative tension isn't manufactured. It's painfully real. Georgie's uncertainty about children and Darcey's biological limits collide with emotional distance. Stacy's fears about Florian intersect with Darcey's frustrations, creating a feedback loop of tension that neither twin can escape. Every comment, every look, every sigh escalates the stakes. Watching them interact feels like witnessing a slow-motion train wreck. You can't look away. And just when it feels like it might calm down, everything explodes again. Darcey's voice breaks through the tension. Sharp and unrelenting. Don't waste my years. Go find your baby mama. The room goes quiet for a second, but the weight of that statement hangs over everyone. Georgie freezes, caught between guilt, confusion, and the fear of admitting what he really wants. Is he staying for love? Or is it convenience? The visa, the comfort, the life he's built around Darcey without fully committing? That question pulses in the air, unanswered, and it's brutal to watch. Every hesitation from him feels like another strike against trust, and Darcey's patience has clearly reached its limit. Stacy watches her twin sister, nodding slightly, and you can see the thought forming. It's time to push. It's time to act. She encourages Darcey, not out of malice, but because she knows her sister's pain. Twin influence amplifies the emotional stakes. Darcey's fury gets sharper, Stacy's concern gets louder, and the feedback loop is immediate. What starts as a single confrontation grows into a storm of reflection, projection, and unresolved fears bouncing off each other. Micro behaviors make everything worse. Georgie fidgets, avoids eye contact, and misplaces his words. Darcey sighs, gestures sharply, and makes her disappointment obvious. Every glance, every slight pause, every defensive comment becomes a signal of deeper issues. Accusations flare over small things, money, priorities, even clothing, and each one reignites old arguments. Conversations meant to clarify the future instead leave everyone more confused. You see the psychology at play. Darcey fears being trapped in a life she didn't choose. Georgie projects uncertainty as charm, and Stacy's involvement intensifies both sisters' emotions. These relational feedback loops create a pressure cooker effect. It's like watching a dance where every misstep escalates, but nobody knows the rhythm. Time becomes the enemy, not just because of lost years, but because emotional energy is being drained, compounded by indecision and avoidance. Georgie tries to explain himself, stumble by stumble. I don't know exactly what I want, he begins, but Darcey cuts him off, frustration spilling into every word. Her tone isn't accusatory for the sake of drama. It's grounded in years of delayed honesty, ignored needs, and broken promises. Every second he hesitates, it confirms what she already suspects. Convenience may have outweighed commitment. Stacy presses harder, highlighting Florian's own failures as a parallel. The long distance, the career-first approach, the timing, all of it mirrors Georgie's evasiveness. This twin comparison makes Darcey's reality even more unbearable. Emotional pressure mounts as the sisters' combined perspectives expose cracks in both marriages that might have otherwise stayed hidden. Money becomes another battlefield. Past fights resurface, and Georgie's offhand comments about expenses ignite old resentments. Darcey recalls the early remarks about divorce obligations, Florian's career timing, and it all collides into a mix of betrayal, fear, and exhaustion. Every unresolved detail piles on top of the next, making it impossible for clarity to survive. Darcey's insistence on truth forces Georgie into corners he hasn't faced before. She's no longer willing to let ambiguity dictate her life, and the room vibrates with tension. Micro-expressions, half-formed sentences, defensive gestures, they all become proof points in the unspoken trial happening right in front of the cameras. Watching them interact feels like being caught in a storm where the thunder is personal, the lightning hits feelings, and every flash exposes another layer of unspoken reality. And just when you think someone might finally speak honestly, the dynamic flips again. Accusations, insecurities, and avoidance spiral faster than anyone can track. The twins' mirrored experiences only make the tension more unbearable. Every pause, every defensive sigh, every attempted justification escalates stakes higher than before. But here's where things take an even uglier turn that nobody saw coming. Fans have been losing it online. Memes about Darcey telling Georgie to go find your baby mama are everywhere, with captions pointing out his indecision and her patience running thin. Comment sections are packed with debates. Some viewers defend Georgie, saying he's confused, but sincere. Others call him out, arguing convenience has always been his main motivation. People are dissecting every glance, every awkward laugh, and every pause from the episode like detectives hunting for hidden truths. Twitter threads compare Darcey's frustration with Stacy's own struggles with Florian. Fans notice the twin dynamic amplifying everything, pointing out that the sisters' mirrored experiences make the emotional stakes higher and the confrontations sharper. Some speculate the real drama isn't just about children or intimacy. It's about timing, opportunity, and whether either couple is truly committed. The theories keep piling up, and viewers can't help but pick sides. Questions are flying in every comment section. Would you stay in Darcey's shoes? Could you handle 6 months of no intimacy while the person you love stays indecisive? Is Georgie in it for love or convenience? Social media is buzzing with people weighing in, analyzing body language, and replaying every explosive moment. Even memes about baby mama versus reality check get hundreds of thousands of views, showing how invested audiences are. And as fans argue, dissect, and laugh at the chaos, one thing is clear: nothing is resolved. Every theory hints at more tension to come. And the next reveal might finally make Darcey rethink everything. Watching Darcey and Georgie, and Stacy and Florian, unfold like this is a stark reminder of how fragile relationships can be when time and priorities aren't aligned. It's not just about love. It's about shared goals, honesty, and showing up emotionally every single day. Darcey's frustration isn't overreacting. It's the accumulation of months where her needs, desires, and boundaries have been ignored or delayed. Stacy's worry over Florian's timing and career moves mirrors the same pattern, proving that distance, physical or emotional, magnifies uncertainty. Trust is at the heart of this chaos. When Georgie hesitates, or when Florian's timing feels opportunistic, it's less about a single action and more about the pattern it creates. Darcey and Stacy feel it in their bones. A lack of clarity breeds insecurity. And the twins' shared experiences amplify everything, turning frustration into pressure and small doubts into major conflicts. Watching them struggle highlights how crucial communication is. When questions are avoided, assumptions take over, and resentment grows faster than solutions. There's also a lesson about timing and life stages. Darcey repeatedly reminds us that her years are precious. Georgie's indecision, whether about children or commitment, isn't just frustrating, it's a direct challenge to the clock ticking on her life. Stacy sees it too, reflecting on her own partnership with Florian. Emotional honesty isn't optional, it's survival. These moments remind us that staying in a misaligned relationship costs more than love. It costs time, confidence, and emotional energy. But even after all this, the story isn't over yet. By now, the stakes couldn't be higher. Darcey has made it clear. Her time, her emotional energy, and her future are on the line. Georgie's ambivalence about children, combined with 6 months of no intimacy, has pushed her to the edge. Every hesitation from him feels like a refusal to commit, and the twin dynamic only magnifies the tension. Stacy sees it too, watching Florian's career-first decisions and long-distance pattern. And she's left questioning whether trust and emotional presence can survive under these pressures. The escalation isn't subtle. Questions about children aren't just theoretical, they're about life, legacy, and love. Intimacy isn't just physical, it's emotional safety. Abandonment isn't just physical, it's the fear of being left behind when priorities shift. Darcey and Stacy are forced to confront limits they didn't think they'd have to set, while Georgie and Florian face the reality that uncertainty and avoidance come with consequences. Every conversation, glance, and defensive response has layered tension onto relationships already stretched to breaking point. Fans have been analyzing every detail online, but the show leaves us with more questions than answers. Can a relationship survive when convenience outweighs clarity? Will honesty ever catch up to ambition and indecision? Next time, one decision could change everything. Whether it's a confrontation about children, a discussion about intimacy, or a hard choice about commitment, everything teeters on the edge. Darcey and Stacy have made their limits clear. Georgie and Florian's futures are uncertain, and viewers are left holding their breath as the emotional dominoes line up for the next tell-all. And the next moment might break the internet completely.